The story of electronics is a rapid cycle of innovation and obsolescence. Generally, you can't or wouldn't want to use something that is a decade old. There are, however, products that are built tough and durable enough to weather the storm of time. This is good for the user, but creates a dilemma for many companies who want you to buy the next iteration of their product. One of my first such products was a minuscule Victorinox Swiss Army knife. This little guy stayed in my backpack for ages, even making trips across the country when I forgot to take it out of my bag when flying. Thankfully, airport security wasn't what it is today, or I'd be recording this from jail. This came in handy a couple times a year, as it is rather limited in tool selection. A blade, a file, flathead driver, scissors, tweezers, and a toothpick? Yep, reusable and sanitary too. This isn't our focus today, but rather a similar, more versatile object is, one that is perhaps the best birthday present I've ever received, and have gotten the most use out of in the 13 plus years since I received it. Design of Things 18, Leatherman Blast. Leatherman is an American company active since the early 1980s. The founder sought to create what he termed a Boy Scout knife with pliers. Here is the original patent. This design made a big impact and, patent notwithstanding, has been created by numerous companies around the world. This particular tool, the Leatherman Blast, was released in 2004 and discontinued in 2012. But you can still buy them online. Starting here with the case, sniff it. Yeah, it's real leather, living up to the name. Leather that, as it wears, ages like only leather goods do. It is rather simple. 4 rivets on the back holding everything together and allowing the case to be threaded onto a belt if you so desire. Onto the front, a simple flap with a fastener to hold it closed. The amount of extra material around the snap is important, as it allows the user to easily get leverage to pop open the snap from a variety of angles, or even with one hand. Stamped on in yellow, contrasting the black, are a logotype and pictorial mark for the Leatherman company. The logotype is simple, an all-caps italic font. Hard to see here, so let's take a closer look over here. There is some interesting rounding to the letter's left corners, with the right corners being sharp in contrast. Pure conjecture, but perhaps representing the juxtaposition of a human hand, which is organic and soft, with a sharp tool. Anyways, this is still used today, but the pictorial mark has been replaced with this. The original is complex and not easy to draw from memory, like many experts say a good logo should be, but I'd argue it is instantly recognizable for what it depicts. It's obviously a Leatherman. Okay, enough about the case. Let's go inside. And here she is in her metallic glory. Right here on the outside, there are some interesting details, starting with the branding. You'll notice that again, we have the logotype, this time done in an outline, followed by the model name Blast. The Blast text feels like it is positioned a bit haphazardly, as the baseline doesn't match up with Leatherman. But we'll end the type geekery here. Here you'll also see a ruler in imperial units, and the vastly superior metric on the back. But as a ruler, it's not really functional at all, unless you're going to measure something small. If we look carefully, we can see the numbers continue, so it's meant to be flipped open, though you can see how accurate it is, give or take a centimeter or two. So not really a functional ruler, more like a technical decorative element that makes the tool look like it has engineering cred. On the exterior, there are also 2 buttons or toggles for locking tools in place, ribbed to give them friction when pressed. Interestingly, The spring that holds the lock in place is created by cutting channels into the body, using the body's metal itself as a spring. A pretty cool solution. Finally, there is this plastic shell that forms a comfortable grip shape. Indeed, when we open it up, this is the part that directly rests against our hands while we use the pliers. The pliers are the key feature of the tool. Pretty standard needle nose with wire strippers. Super useful to have for a variety of jobs. Then we have the other tools, all featuring a notch of some kind to allow you to pull them out with a fingernail. There's a good variety, from Phillips to flathead, file to saw to scissors. Each tool is capable of locking into place with a nice audible snap. The tools stay firmly in place unless you press the release and push them back in. The joints have a nice pressure to them, no play at all. The only time you'll notice some weakness or flex in the tool is when you really crank it to loosen a really tight bolt or screw, which is my only real complaint, probably because I've used this for way more than it was intended for. I'm sure that there are many better multi-tools available now, but to me the beauty of this is in its breaking of the innovation obsolescence cycle. A useful device that stays out of our mountains of waste. And I've used it for 13 years and plan to continue to do so. Until next time on Design of Things.